investigation is underway in Brooklyn Park after police say dozens of shots were fired in the parking lot of a Brooklyn Park strip mall east of Edinburgh USA Golf Course. It happened early Saturday morning. Police recovered evidence of more than 40 shots fired. Jason Malello has the story.
Officers were called here to the 8500 block of Edinburgh Center Drive just after midnight on Saturday, where they found a handgun and more than 40 shell casings. The original call was for a weapons complaint, but on the way to the scene, officers started getting reports of shots fired. Arriving at the scene, officers got a description of the shooter from a witness. They located the suspect nearby, but the suspect fled on foot. A police canine from the Crystal Police Department was deployed, and the shooter was found hiding in a shed in a nearby neighborhood and taken into custody without incident. Area business owners we talked to hadn't heard about the shooting, but said there didn't appear to be any damage to their buildings. Brooklyn Park police say they don't know why the person was shooting, and there's no indication anyone was hurt. In Brooklyn Park, Jason Malillo, CCX News.
Residents in Golden Valley who raised concerns about the possibility of a new fire station being built in their neighborhood received news they were hoping for. The Golden Valley City Council has decided not to build a new centrally located fire station on any site that's currently occupied by someone's home. Rather than acquiring residential homes in the Scheid Park neighborhood through the process of eminent domain, council members decided that placing the station on one of 3 commercial sites along Duluth Street or a baseball field at Shopper Park would make the most sense.
Now we have very clear direction. We know where we can start looking, we know who we can approach, and that gives us now the ability to really explore this project rather than just conversationally, but really getting into the nuts and bolts of each of the sites.
Golden Valley is in the process of switching over to a duty crew staffing model, which requires firefighters to be on staff 24/7. In Plymouth, a large-scale environmental review will take place, and it's one that's expected to take months on possible redevelopmental plans for the former Prudential office campus. The 75-acre campus is located near I-494 and Bass Lake Road. The review, which is required by state law, will study 2 development scenarios. One of them would tear down the Prudential building and construct a new medical office building with a mixture of retail and more than 1,000 apartment units. That's a proposal that's been compared to Centennial Lakes in Edina. Another scenario would keep the Prudential building and add another business park. The review will study traffic and environmental impacts. The City Council is expected to get a look at the completed study in July. Have you ever wondered how food products get their best by date? You may be surprised to learn that a company in Brooklyn Park is behind the answer. Companies around the globe rely on Brooklyn Park-based Ametek Mocon to test packaging. And as Corey Bork reports, its technology is on the cutting edge of an industry that's rapidly evolving.
We work with pretty much all the biggest companies that you could think of.
Think of all the packaging used for food. Nearly all of it has a Brooklyn Park connection.
Countless products are tested here at Ametek Mocon. Even this water bottle.
Bags for potato chips are another example.
You want them crispy, right? You want them tasting fresh. Water vapor makes them soggy. Oxygen makes them not taste good.
Jeff Jackson.
And I have an engineering background, so that technology is always interesting to me.
Is the man behind a lot of the testing science.
So permeation is the movement of gas molecules through a barrier.
Ametek Mocon offers the testing equipment that makes sure companies get the packaging results they're looking for.
And it's about primarily oxygen transmission rate and water vapor transmission rate. Those are primary enemies to food and electronics.
This laboratory in Brooklyn Park.
This is our main test lab.
Is the largest of its kind in the world.
You would put a film in the barrier, and they would close that up, load this into the instrument.
Testing is tedious, taking days, even weeks.
As you can imagine, gas molecules don't move through a barrier quickly. The customers need to know what the performance of that package is. This instrument allows them to test that full package.
Close to 80% of the testing is for food packaging.
When they put a date stamp on it that says good through this date, how do they know that? The permeation performance of their package is a key element to that.
And it's not just testing done here, but the manufacturing of the equipment.
There's up to 4 people that build the instruments here. We probably build 5 or 6 instruments a day off this assembly line.
Ametek Mocon shipped out more than 400 testing instruments across the globe last year, a company record.
I think the key thing is we're so tight with our customers.
And it's expected to get busier.
The impact is as we continue to take on sustainability efforts, we are at that cutting edge of really being able to help our customer companies accomplish their sustainability goals.
As it examines packaging that could be recycled or composted.
Cartons, bottles, pouches, bags. Think of a company, they rely on Mocon.
From healthcare, pharma, med device, and food and beverage. You name it, we most likely work with them.
In Brooklyn Park, Corey Bork, CCX News.
Ametek Mocon was founded in the 1960s by a scientist at General Mills. About 120 people work at the Brooklyn Park facility. And finally, let's listen to a special performance by the all-district band from Robbinsdale schools. This past week, students and faculty played a commissioned piece by Canadian composer Kate Nishimura. The song is called Ready to Fly, and it was commissioned by Tammy Wallin with support from the Seven Dreams Foundation. Support also came from Marlene Johnson, who asked to dedicate the song in memory of her brother, Arnold Johnson, who was a lover of birds and also an alumni of Robbinsdale schools. We'll let you listen to some of the first performance of Ready to Fly.
Park Center won its first state title in boys basketball last season. To get back to state, the Pirates had to go through rival Osseo in the Section 5 4A final. Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
Park Center looking for its third victory over Osseo this season as they meet in the Section 5 4A boys basketball final. Chang Ring knocks down a three for Park Center as they grab a 6-2 lead early in the game. Jackson Folks drives and misses, but C.J. O'Hara dunks the rebound for a 17-8 Pirates lead. O'Hara scores 22. Osseo gets it going. Alvin Jones hits the baseline jumper off the inbound pass, and they're within 18-14. Park Center takes a 5-point lead into halftime. Second half, and Joe Burgess drives for the dunk as Park Center leads by 13, and it looks like they might put Osseo away. But the Orioles fight back. After a near steal, Trey Smith sinks a three to pull Osseo within 53-51. But the Pirates hang on as O'Hara ends the game in style. Park Center is back to defend its 4A title with a 62-52 win over Osseo. They face Andover in the quarterfinals Tuesday morning. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Champions were crowned Saturday at the state girls basketball tournament. 3 of the 4 classes had teams from the CCX viewing area playing for titles, including Hopkins in Class 4A. The Royals and the Knights meeting for a third time this season. Hopkins won twice during the regular season. A red-hot start for STMA. Jacayla Kraft hits a three-pointer to give the Knights a 12-4 lead. 17 points in the game for Kraft. Tessa Johnson passes ahead to Kraft for 2 more. St. Michael Albertville builds an improbable 27-6 lead. They're up 17 at halftime. Hopkins took a while to get going in the second half, but they do rally. Kelly Boyle scores on a 3 from the top of the key. Then in the final minute, it's Liv McGill driving to the basket and scoring. It's a 4-point game at 69-65. Final seconds, and Boyle hits another 3 to make it 71-70. But the Royals don't get the ball back. St. Michael Albertville beats Hopkins to take the 4A championship. The Class 3A girls basketball final matched Benilde-St. Margaret's against first-time tournament entrant Stewartville. The Red Knights, looking for the program's first state championship since 2010, taking on the Tigers for the Class 3A title. Sierra Lumpkin had a huge night for BSM. The senior hits for 3 in the first half to give the Red Knights a 10-4 lead. Zahara Bishop pulls up and knocks down the jumper in the lane to make it 25-16 Benilde. They'd lead by 8 at halftime. The Tigers mount a comeback in the second half. Avery Spencer scores inside and draws a foul as Stewartville surges into the lead. But Lumpkin, who made 5 of 6 three-pointers in the game, hits a huge triple here to give the Red Knights the lead for good at 54-53. And Olsen is clutch at the free throw line, making 11 of 15 from the stripe, as Benilde-St. Margaret's wins the state Class 3A title over Albany. 66-60 is the final. In Class 2A, the Providence Academy girls basketball team was aiming for a repeat championship as they faced 2021 champ Albany. The Lions shooting for their 30th win of the season, taking on the 30-win Albany Huskies. Albany's Kylan Garrett hits a long jumper to give her team an early 9-7 lead. The Lions miss a layup try in transition, but Emma Millerburn is there for the rebound and putback. 12 points in the game for the 8th grader. Albany's Tatum Fidley hits for 3 of her 11 points here. The Huskies take a 1-point lead in the halftime, 33-32. But Providence quickly goes ahead early in the second half. Madden Greenway forces a backcourt turnover and gets the ball to Hope Counts for the basket and one. Providence is up by 10. Later, it's the freshman guard Greenway taking one all the way for 2 of her 31 points. Providence Academy wins 74-60 to win their second straight Class 2A title.